Teresópolis is a small town in the Rio de Janeiro state, and a very peaceful town, and I was raised with a lot of freedom, joy, and care. I studied in a Christian school that made a huge impact over my life, my personality, my values and principles. During my high school years, I had a great interest in human biology, and ultimately this interest for human biology influenced my choice, my career choice, and ultimately I went to the medical school. I had no close relatives working as a doctor, so it was a kind of leap of faith. Then I moved from Teresópolis to Rio de Janeiro, completely different city, huge town, much more violent one, and it was an amazing experience. When I finished my graduation and I complete my medical education, at that time the AIDS epidemic was reaching our country, blowing all over the world, and it made a huge impact over my professional life, because I dealt very closely with the very first patients with AIDS in Brazil at a time that no medication, no effective treatment existed. So I witnessed a lot of suffering and pain during these early years of the AIDS epidemic. Later on, after my board, I joined a group of physicians that were launching the first liver transplantation program in Brazil. It was an honor to be a part of that team, and I was in charge of patients waiting for liver transplantation, and after they received the new organ, I treated them with immunosuppressors, I take care of them after the procedure, the surgical procedure as well. It was an amazing and unique experience to see people that were facing death every day and reviving a new beginning after the transplant. So I really, really encourage you to open up your heart and your minds to become an organ donor. It can really change people's lives. Well, I worked as a doctor for 10 years after my graduation, and at that time I got married and I had 2 children. One of them is this wonderful kid that is interviewing me at this moment. And at that moment of my life, everything changed. Because although I was having a great academic career in a very privileged position, that job was very underpaid and I was struggling financially. So I had to take a decision in my life, either to go to the private sector to work as a private doctor, or to join my family and do business. And I chose the second option. It was a big shift in my career, and I was quite impressed with the smooth transition I had. Actually, this new job that I started in 2003, and I have been working over the last 15 years, is very demanding, and the abilities and skills that are required to be successful in this new field is completely different from what I had. Then I went back to school, to the same school that I graduated as a doctor, to study management, business, leadership, finance. So all these new fields of knowledge were a new word for me. And then I took diverse positions in my family business, from Chief Marketing Office at the first moment, then the Chief Financial Officer later on, and then the Chief Executive Officer over the last 7 years, working as a CEO of the company and overseeing all the activities of the company. During these periods, we went up and down many times, and working in the business, it's not It's not quite like working as a doctor. It's very unpredictable, especially in a country, in an economy very unstable as Brazilian economy. So we went through diverse challenges over these years. But we had very interesting landmarks in these recent years. We launched a new business. We launched juices, non-alcoholic beverages, healthy ones. We started a new business in the craft beer unit. So we had quite a few successful launches over the last years. Well, during the last 2 years, I'm in charge of the next step of our company, and looking toward the future, I'm in charge of the internationalization project of the company. So I moved to US last year because our company is focused on globalization of one of our brands that we truly believe that can be a global brand. So I'm dealing with the regulatory aspects and also the market strategy here in the US. So this is the reason that I moved, and I'm quite excited and thrilled to be in charge of this project.
Surprises. Try not to think about the way it could have been, the way it could have been, the way it could have been. The world is yours, you go get it and make it special. You make it special.
Beba com moderação.